my head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now, do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. Before a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. Before a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this.
It's Monday. Baby kisses. Thank you so much, my love. Really do appreciate you. Maurice, thank you. Blue Eyes, thank you.
I'm on
America,
my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me, 'cause I'd start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Eat my pearls. Take care of you. Hello. Ginger.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow.
Amen,
Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. walking on water, yeah, we're sinking now.
Thank you, my
You're
love.
looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Who's ready to wear their pearls? We got some pearls.
I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
All right, here we go. We ride at dawn.
Big rain, come along with me. Together with the truth you see.
Let's go, pearls.
Got pearls and a laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real.
Always keep it real.
Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light,
Hey,
share the vibe.
Mary.
Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Helen here, and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Spreading truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew.
Go.
With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every lie
Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the light. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
The pearls are bound together.
The pearls were bound together through the storm and darkest weather. We search high, we search low, together everywhere we go. Justin's here and he's going live with the best fans by my side. We're a family, we hold strong. Together we can right the wrong. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. In the night or in the day, pearls will light and lead the way. Justin's heart and your support. Together we will hold the fort. Lily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care.
Click play and come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comment here and spread the cheer. Members
Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is March 3rd, 2025. It is currently 8:47 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Thank you for leaving your DNA, Lady for Justice. Really do appreciate you. My darling Bo is off work. How you doing? How you doing? And it's Wendy's birthday. We need to sing happy birthday to Wendy and Holly as God mods. Please don't let me forget that. Please, please, please. I got behind doing 3 hours of. Ooh, okay. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate you. Hopefully, Rita, we are going to get some good news. Hopefully, very soon. I pray. I do believe with all my heart, that we will have answers for Sebastian. What those answers will be, I don't know, but I do believe that Sumner County TBI, FBI is on it, is on it, and is not taking their foot off the gas. All gas, no brake. We are on the right side of history. Amen, Tina. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Amen to that. Thank you, Grandma. Good to see you. Thank you so much, girl mom. Really do appreciate you. 4 months coming in clutch. Got to meet girl mom and her amazing husband and her beautiful mummy as well. Wonderful, wonderful people. I wish I would have gotten to say hi longer though. But we still got to meet. That's awesome. So it's so good to see you, girl mom. And I want to thank Maurice. Thank you so much. Renewing, my dear. Blue Eye, thank you so much, my love. Really do appreciate you. Baby kisses, renewing. Thank you so much, my dear. Donna coming in clutch at 3 months. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. And we got Lady for Justice. Thank you so much, my dear. 4 months. How you doing? How you doing? All right. Yes. I hope not much longer. Don't know how much more my heart can take. I feel you, Connie. I feel you. Um, I don't think. I think by this time next year, I don't think we will. I think there will be a resolution by this time next year. Now, that could be tomorrow, but I don't think that it will go on for another year, if you will. You know what I mean? I think this has been a tremendous case on this department, if you will. And I think it's been a tricky case. I think with something this high profile, they have to get it right. They have to get it right. And I believe that they are. No, I'm not saying a whole year for answer, Sunshine. I'm saying that I don't believe next year, this time, we will be like it is in the Summer Wells case, right? I don't think we'll be there. I don't think we'll be there, but I do believe that we will have answers. I can tell you that the Sumner County is on it. They want this done and they want it done right. They want it done and they want it done right. Did you see the video of Sebastian riding a bike? Yes, I did. Someone sent it to me. Texas mommy of Thank you so much, my dear. Coming in clutch at 8 months. How are you doing, girl? Loving the right side. Amen. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your support, Texas Mommy of 6. Really, really do appreciate you, my dear, so very much. And Dawson, thank you, my love. You're so sweet to me. I really do appreciate you, honey. You're always so generous to me. I appreciate you, Dawson. Good to see you, my love. And we got Peggy. Hey, Peggy, 3 months. Thank you, dear. Sending prayers for Sebastian and Seth. Yes. Um. Well, Karen, that's a good question, right? Um. You know, I hope and pray more than anything that. One second, y'all. One second. I apologize. Okay, so sorry about that. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Thank you so much, my dear, for renewing the membership, my dear. Really do appreciate you. So good to see you, cuckoo. Um, what was I saying? What was I talking about? I can't remember. The hen house, I do. I think here went my camera. I do think that in the beginning they did think that this was just a child that had autism. I think, in my opinion, the mom and the stepdad really upplayed, if you will, his autism. Now, as you see in their latest interview, they're not saying that. She's saying, "Oh, it might have been misconstrued or whatever." Come on. Come on now. Come on, KK. Let's get real. Let's get real. We got a lot to talk about, though. Norma, thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you, honey. Thank you. Welcome back to the Pearl family. Spoke with amazing on you, darling. Thank you so much. You're welcome, sweet Norma. We love you, darling. Um, determination of Sumner County to solve this is right away. Yes. Yeah. 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 Exactly, Kelsey. Exactly. Um, but yeah, it's coming. It's coming. You guys know that I was in Sumner County, and I showed you guys yesterday where I went into the new neighborhood and all of that. It is much smaller than it looks on Google Earth. Um, and it's actually, in my opinion, smaller than it looks on camera, even, particularly the backyard. Um, Today we're going to go over some things regarding the timeline, and then we're going to go over some things about some alibis, if you will. Rebecca, thank you so much, my looking great as always. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. I really do appreciate you. Um, yeah. Yes, she intentionally. Yeah. Yeah. He's young in mind and all of that. So Sebastian, for all intents and purposes, is a normal kid who had level 1 autism, right? Um, you know what? I just thought of something. I need to pull that up. Um, I'll pull that up in just a second. Josie, thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Sebastian has touched hearts around the world. Thoughts and prayers for Seth, Sebastian, Justin, and all the positive and strong supporters searching for the truth to bring Sebastian home. Thank you so much, Josie. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you for your contribution, your love, your thoughts, your prayers, your positivity. Thank you, my dear. I found something interesting. Justin texting it to you. Great, cool. Let's see it. Let's see it. All right. So maybe I should just show you this first, and then remind me, guys, because I wasn't planning this, but I'm going to do it. Remind me to show you about how Sebastian got out of the car at the Texas Roadhouse. Remind me in a few minutes, in a little bit. I want to know how in the heck Chris knew KK was talking about Sebastian when she called and said, I can't find him. If my husband called me and said, yes, yeah, I can't find him. Well, who are you talking about? Can't find who? What are you talking about? It's early in the morning, right? Supposedly up in a crane. Come on. But that's kind of what we're essentially talking about. Okay, Girlmon, thank you for sending me that. Let me look at it. One second, y'all. I don't understand what you mean, Girl Mom. It's a link. It's just a link. What about it? Exactly. He automatically knew who she was talking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. What do you mean? Yeah. Someone just sent me, Mob Crew is showing info that he has known from Crime Time Buzz shared tonight. Did you see it? Yeah, I've known about that for a while. Yeah, this is, yeah, like the police said, this has been good old-fashioned police work. Good old-fashioned police work. That's interesting as well. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine going back to the 90s and how police solved cases then. It's got every screenshot timeline interview with links, but the screenshots is what you want to look at. Okay, I've got this, but I've actually not looked at screenshots. Where's the screenshots at? Where's the screenshots? Okay. Are you talking about this? Right here? The mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers? I'll send it one second. It's got every... Okay. Okay. Let's look at this. Ooh, what's this? One second, y'all. Getting off on a tangent here. Look at this. Yeah, I've had this for a while. But I've not actually. I've just used it for the links. I've not used it for anything else. Yes, I am confirming that the dogs had a scent that led to the construction site. No, they didn't. No signs or evidence reveal Sebastian was there. Boy, isn't that interesting? So Edgar, no signs or evidence that Sebastian was there. Then why the hell have you been pushing that? Why the hell was you pushing that? For, I don't know, a year? A year now? Something like that? Oh, thank you so much, Tina. Thank you so very, very much, my darling. Justin, you going to the vigil and putting yourself where this case really happened, really opened your eyes and hearts to things with the case. Also being able to bring that information back to us. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, sweet Tina. Really, really do appreciate you, my darling. That's very kind of you. Um, you know, did it open my eyes? It just solidified that, in my opinion, there is he just there's he didn't walk out the door, in my opinion. And also, I was thinking today, now that you say that, I was thinking today about how KK, in the beginning, she said, "I don't know why he walked out the door." You know, we had a perfect day, this, that, and all that. And now, a year later, when I think she said this before, to be fair, but she's like, I don't know if he was abducted or he just hasn't been found or this. Now there's like all of these other things that she's saying. And what just blows my mind more than anything is how she can want to know about something that the police has told her that has no relevancy, none at all to the case, but is not interested in the 3:15 a.m. someone literally in the back of her home. And someone, there's only two people in that home, right? And one was Sebastian, and the other one was KK. Yeah, exactly, Justin. They immediately insisted that he definitely walked out the door and dismissed any other possibility. Yeah. Now it's, oh, this might have happened, this might have happened, that might have happened. Why? I mean, what makes you think that now? Oh, I agree, 77. I agree. Totally. Totally. Um, I mean, take for instance this. Also, when you were on the 3-hour phone call, which I've showed this before with KK, uh, were you holding the phone and moving it around throughout the call, or did you just have it sitting untouched in one location on speaker throughout the whole conversation? I'm only asking this because law enforcement has technology to tell the orientation and slight movements of the phone while it's on a call, and they can tell if it doesn't move at all. So were you moving it around the phone, or did you keep it still in one spot untouched while you spoke to her for 3 hours? Edgar says, that I cannot answer due to the ongoing investigation. You are smoking something, Edgar, if you can't answer that. You are literally smoking something if you can't answer that. Think about that, y'all. This man says he's 3.5 hours away, has nothing to do with his stepson's disappearance. But you can't answer if you were moving around with your damn phone. And people, what? What? You can't say, yeah, I was on the phone with her. I don't know, I was making chili at the time. We were talking about the ball game, you know. About the concert we want to go to next? Whatever. Can't answer that due to an ongoing investigation. It's so interesting to me how he claims I can't answer this because law enforcement has dictated me not to. But we know that's not true. We've got the email. And then he'll say things like, I have nothing to do with this. I can't tell you when I was home. I had nothing to do with this. I can't tell you where I was Sunday. I have nothing to do with this. I can't tell you if my phone was moving. That's right, Kloops. He can. He chooses not to. That's right. That's exactly right. And he has every right to choose that. He has every right. I don't know why you would. If it has nothing relevant into the investigation of Sebastian, like he claims, if there's nothing relevant about if his phone was moving or not, you can answer it because it means nothing. But if it does mean something, you might not want to answer that. Right? There's that. Pink Warrior. Thank you, darling. 9 months coming in clutch. How you doing, girl? Thank you so much, love. Hope you're feeling better. Love you, Mamie. We love you too, Pink. Thank you so much, my dear. Really good to see you, my love. Hope you are well. Oh, hey, Holly. How you doing, darling? Thank you. Love you, sweet man. Blessings always. I give Seth a red heart. It beats for his son. Thank you so much, Holly. It's very kind of you. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you so much. Very, very kind. This is all about control for Edgar and about covering up. You think so? Well, we're not privy to that information. Yeah, in that interesting. This has okay, let me see. This has I'm reading something, bear with me. This has almost, but most importantly, the early screen. Okay. Let me type you back. Okay. So there's that. And this he writes KK, or someone writes KK, it's funny that you and Edgar take the time reading all of these messages on Facebook more than you do for searching for your son. You took time to read my messages because you sent me a PM to my Facebook Messenger. Like I said, you and Edgar make yourself look, in their opinion, guilty by the way you act. And KK wrote back, like I said, it is harassment and just being an awful person to take your time to comment on every post I have ever made about your negativity. You made so many harassing comments that I noticed, but since you are making a point to for my attention, my son is missing, and if you would like to help, okay, very non-answer answers. Someone wrote, "Why aren't you allowed?" What? Hold on. That doesn't really mean anything. Let's see here. All right. These are the very interesting ones right here. This is the Auntie Mimi. Auntie Mimi. Melissa. Auntie Melissa. Oh, and scroll to the right. Okay. I'll look at that. This is where she says, "Hey everyone, this is my nephew. He is high functioning verbal autistic. We walked out of the house in the middle. He walked out in the middle of the house. He walked out of the house in the middle of the night with his glasses, a small flashlight, and no shoes." I just thought of something. How did she know he walked out with the flashlight the next day, by the next day? Wasn't even gone 24 hours yet. How did she know that? 24 hours. And remember, the police asked allegedly KK and Edgar if he could have left with a flashlight. This is interesting. I just thought of that. Exactly. Your son is missing. You're going to notice a keychain flashlight. Yes. I'm sorry, but the last thing, and it hasn't been 24 hours. Not even 20. It's almost at 24 hours, but not even 24 hours. You don't know. You're saying you've thought of a keychain flashlight? Something is really wrong with this girl, in my opinion. Yeah. Seth noticed the shoes as soon as he walked in. He walked out of the house in the middle of the night. Well, KK, that doesn't sound like what you're saying now. Yes, this is Melissa's post on the 27th at 5 something in the morning. You know what I mean? So there's that. We have been searching around, in the middle of the night with his glasses, a small flashlight, and no shoes. We have been searching since 6:30 a.m. yesterday, which is technically before they even called the non-emergency number. 3 minutes, so, I'm not going to part the hairs on that too much, but they are searching the 10 miles around his house. But I'm worried that he may have gotten in a back seat of a car, fell asleep, woke up after someone got to their job and got out of their car. ... It's possible. ... I'm just trying to think outside of the box to help find him. Ugh, it's just so hard. You never know how kids think. Please keep a lookout. Thanks. Quick. Stat. Tina. Stat. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure did. That escalated quickly. Real quickly. Right, Raven? Right? And then she wrote in another post, I'm so sick of people blaming me for the actions of a 15-year-old boy who left his house in the middle of the night. His actions. What? His actions. This is what she wrote. I'm so sick of people blaming me for the actions of a 15-year-old boy who left his house in the middle of the night. I got instant heartburn from that. Instant. I mean, they were sure of it, right? I mean, there was nothing, but he walked out that door. I don't know why he walked out that door, but he walked out that door. This is how, this, in my opinion, shows a window into how Sebastian was treated. Read it yourself, right here. I'm so sick of people blaming me for the actions of a 15-year-old boy who left his house in the middle of the night. Right there. Wow. I stopped posting anything much on social media for this reason. I had nothing to do with anything, and yet people want to blame and harass me. The police office, when filing the report for my mailbox, asked me if I posted it on Facebook to see if anyone knows who owns this van. And that is what I have done. Just because we are not doing what you feel you would do, you feel the way you need to attack me, is what she says. We have gone out and looked in the beginning, and we have handed out flyers, posted signs, and have followed all the rules of FBI, TBI, SCSO have instructed us to do. We all have spoke to LE as well as granted any request that they have made. People keep acting like the police aren't doing their job. They are. That's one thing I do agree with you, girlfriend. They are doing their job. Yes, they are. I'm not here to argue with anybody. You are allow ALLLOW to have your opinion, but you can keep them to yourself. Here she says, this is a comment she's replying about a post Nick Barris did, or a report. Well, I can tell you that Nick is wrong about a couple of things, like there is no stepbrother. I don't ever remember that, but anyway, the family, us, have been asked to not talk to the news. We know that that is not true. We know that that is not true. The law enforcement put out there several days that, the family has, I am not verbatim, but to the effect of, they can talk, they're just not wanting to talk right now, and when they're, please honor their privacy. So the family, us, have been asked to not talk to the news and let them handle that. We are compiling, their orders. We understand you guys want answers, so do we. I can tell you this. They never told Seth not to speak. And we know, based upon the email, that law enforcement has never told Edgar, KK, or Seth that they could not say anything. They're not going to tell them anything that they don't want out, ever. Police will not tell you anything and say, don't say this. It's not the way it works. It's not how any of that works. So there's that. And then I was with him Sunday afternoon shopping, took my sister and her daughter, plus my sister-in-law and Sebastian shopping that afternoon. I can tell you he was in a good mood. They headed home to put away groceries. When I last saw him Sunday. I want to know, was someone home Sunday? In your opinion, do you believe someone was home Sunday when they got home to put away groceries? I don't know. Um, there's so much stuff here. What is this? Oh, that's the Georgia sighting. That's a croc. This is just a bunch of things compiled for. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is I've showed this actually. This is with the trash company, right? And let's see here. Let me find. I'll get back to this in just a second because this wasn't what I was planning on talking about. But I do. What did Mohawk say? So how could both KP and Mel be driving? That's been a long question. A long question. Sent you another one. Okay. Oh, I didn't see these. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I saw. Okay. They came here because there is a license plate reader on. Oh, I've never saw this screenshot, and I'm gonna read it with you guys. 1 second. This is interesting. They came here because there's a license plate reader at Long Hollow and Center Point, and asked because my daughter works at Hilton in, I think they mean Gallatin. They saw her license plate and wondered if she saw anything strange that morning. The morning he went missing, but she didn't. At 5:20, I asked about door being locked. They have digital doors, so they lock behind you when you leave. So they were checking out license plates then, right? Laura Cobb, I'm sorry I'm late. Laura, to the office, please. Laura, to the office. We need a late slip for Laura. She's late. Thank you, Laura. Good to see you, honey. You got digital doors and no surveillance, right? Yes. I do know that they I have heard about this actually, that they came because uh the license plate reader at Long Hollow, do you know where it's at, girl mom? Is it right there where the stoplights are? Do you Justin, do you think they still have all of his belongings? Meaning Edgar and KK? Is that who you mean? Their cousin allegedly has a Nissan. Hmm. Interesting. All right. So I want to talk about alibis. by Center Point Barbecue. Let me look that up real quick. Okay. So we're talking about, is that close to Main Street? Is that where we're talking about in Hendersonville? Look at this. One second. Well, go, Google. Is this where we're talking about Center Point Barbecue? 31. Right here. You got her. Thank you so much. No, it's the intersection at Center Point Road and Long. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, I think they still got Sebastian stuff. I do. I think just better be quiet. All right. Here we go. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate it. So this is interesting to me. This was something that, now, it was written anonymously. So there's that. But it sticks out to me because I have some other things on this that there's some different stories on this, and I want to talk about that. June 14th, 2024. So there's something that has been bothering me since the neighbor Bobby gave her interview and mentioned the unidentified car in the neighborhood. I had a conversation with Chris earlier in the case. I asked him if he could tell me what he did all day Sunday, since we only heard about what KK did that Sunday. He told me he was at the RV park all day and night Sunday. So now, remember, Edgar has never said publicly what he did Sunday. What he did Sunday. Sunday is very, very important. Right? It's very important. No matter where he was, it's important. We need, you need to know where everybody is when a child goes missing. Let's see here. He told me that he was at the RV park all day and night Sunday. He said he didn't leave at all. He mentioned that a coworker of his was staying in the same RV park and that weekend. I 100,000% believe this person. I don't know who it is, but I can tell you, just by them saying that, I know this person, in my opinion, is telling the truth, because there's recordings out there of the person that was at Edgar's campsite, one of his coworkers and or potential bosses or friend, I don't know, but he claims to be his boss, said he was staying at the same place as Edgar, the same campground, right? So, in my opinion, definitely telling the truth. That's you, Ella? Ella, would you like to email me? You had a conversation with him. I believe you. I believe you because of that, what you just said right there. Okay. Very good. Now, he said on Sunday, late morning, early afternoon, he was working on the coworker's car, the coworker's wife's car at the RV park. I don't know anything about cars, but he said he replaced the serpentine belt. I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly. I'm not sure if I said that correctly even. He said there are pictures of him working on the car and that LE already questioned the coworker. Really? Now, why would Edgar be changing or taking pictures while he's working on this car? That's a 15-minute job, Skinny said. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. Yes. All right. Serpentine belt was. You're right. That was what was damaged on CJ's, wasn't it? Going to the RV park and then says Chris wasn't there. Remember, people get, and I don't remember what Silver said, but there are two different parks, two different campgrounds, right? All right. I don't know anything about the car, but he said, okay, that part. He said there are pictures of him working, and Ellie had already questioned the coworker. Now, from what I understood, it was supposed to be kind of his boss, but could be a coworker. I didn't think too much of it at the time of the conversation since Bobby mentioned the unidentified vehicle in the neighborhood. I started to wonder if Edgar used the coworker's wife's vehicle to go to Hendersonville that night because he knew he couldn't use his own vehicle because the GPS would be tracked. I also wondered if the unidentified vehicle in the neighborhood sorry, it was cut off here. I also wonder if the coworker could have been involved. Also, his comment that there were pictures of him working on the car seems strange to me. Why would there be pictures? 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Also, I wondered if the coworker could have been involved. Also, the comment that there were pictures of him working on the car is strange to me. Why would there be pictures? Katie took pictures of her day too. Could they have been both taken pictures to establish an alibi? I just thought it was odd, but maybe I'm overthinking it. And lastly, one final thought. I remember hearing the Seth's PI establish Chris alibi at the RV park because a coworker confirmed he saw him there at 8 p.m. Could it be the same coworker? Perhaps they were covering for him. I'm not accusing, I'm just theorizing here. So please don't attack me. I forgot to mention that I do not know what kind of vehicle he was working on. He didn't say, and I didn't think to ask him at the time. Okay. That's very interesting. So there is a recorded call out there. Some of you have heard it, some of you haven't. And it is a call with one of Seth's former PIs. And she talks to this guy that says that that he was in the same campsite as Edgar that night. Is that the same coworker that said Edgar was on the job at 5:30 in the morning? Very interesting you said that. This coworker said he was there at 5:15. However, what bothers me, and I do have it somewhere, I need to pull it up. There is a screenshot out there of another coworker. It's a Facebook Messenger or Facebook post, and they vouch for Edgar. But they say that he doesn't start there until 7 a.m. Gates, it says, I remember it says gates open up at 7. You're either there at 5:15 or you're there at 7. Someone is not telling the truth. Someone is not telling the truth. Which one is that? One call sounds like a voice. Wondering when the coworker came out after we all questioned his alibi. Other found out is if you're on a 3-way call, can law enforcement trace all locations of the phones involved? I mean, if you're on a cell phone, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to ping off the towers. Sure is. The gate was locked according to what Silvers found out, I believe. The one with the most to lose. Janine usually a skirt. Huh. Sleeping in the parking lot after driving there? Who said he was sleeping in a truck? I mean, it does not make sense to be there at 5:15. And I don't understand why. Yes. A good point, Merge. This one person said that he helped Edgar put the skirting on the fifth wheel that evening. Wasn't it that evening? Pretty sure it was that evening. There is no skirting on an RV. Yes. One would have to be crazy to cover. Yes, they would always late. They would. But they did. Like they legit did. Justin, what was that company they called again? I can't remember, girl mom. Justin, no auto mechanics. Yeah, that's a good point, troopers. Good point. They're not going to let you work on your car there. They're not going to let you work on your car there. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah, you can't just have it up on blocks. I'm a high tech redneck, kind of thing. It's not like that. Do you have the guy, forgive my description, bit has a bit of a sort of urban accent, sounds like a voice. Don't know what you mean. Bingo, engine needs lifted. You're not even allowed to wash your RV at the nicer ones. This was a nice one. Just cause someone saw him. Well, just someone saw him that day doesn't mean it is anything. It was during the day. Sebastian was never started to miss the hours of 12 and 6 a.m. Well, this person allegedly says when he gets back later that night, he pulls in around, I think he says he gets back into the campground. What are they called? Campgrounds? Is that what they're called? At around 11 o'clock. And he says Edgar's truck was there. It was called. Is it out? Did someone put it out, Rach? Has anyone put that call out? Sounded fake, urbanish accent, in my opinion. Not that I'm aware of. Engine does not have to be lifted for a serpentine, but I don't know. I agree, Holly. Yes, remind me, I gotta sing happy birthday to you, darling, you little cutie. Yay, I'm a pearl. Love you, Justin. Thank you, Brown Egg Girls. Coming in clutch. How you doing? How you doing, girl? How you doing? Thank you. 2 months, my love. Coco, thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. In my opinion, if anyone is giving CP an alibi, it's only because he said I was with a married woman. It's only because he said I was with a married woman. If, in my opinion, anyone giving CP an alibi, it is only because he said I was with a married woman. Probably. You're probably right. You're probably right, Coco. I mean, I'm sure there's been a lot of those, in my opinion, allegedly. Justin, you have picture of the RV and there is no skirt on it. Yes, but we got to remember that it was moved. Remember, he went Wednesday to get it. Sebastian hadn't been missing less than 60 hours, 50, 60 hours at that point. He went and spent overnight and came back and got it, came back to Hendersonville, stayed a little bit, and then they went back. But it just doesn't make sense. Fifth wheels don't have skirting. Well, this is the thing. Even if it did have skirting, why that night? Why were you putting skirting on it that night? You'd been there at least since the beginning of February, right? So there's that. Technically, that would be the truth if the married woman was. Yes. Well, some people use them temporarily if to just make them look better. But generally, it's, there for if you're there for a long term, you're right. Don't and Dodges have some that have motor mounts in the way lifted. You did, Trishy? Okay, let me look. Let me look at this. Where is my dear Trishy? Okay, let's look at this. I got some stuff to show y'all in a minute. We're going to come back to this, but let's see what this is.
They said that the dogs stopped. It stopped at the door. Then another one says that it stopped at the damn dumpster through where the new construction is. Which one is it? I don't know. Because it's two different stories told.
Exactly, and neither one of them are remotely true.
So which one is it? Because they're not. Nothing's adding up.
So here's what I can tell you. So day one, they had at least 5 dogs that started out. Mm-hmm. Now,
I see the dogs. I mean, I did see the dogs.
So throughout the 8 days that they were searching, mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many dogs they brought in. They brought dogs in from out of state, different counties, all over the place.
County had their dogs out there. I mean, I can probably name a lot of the counties that did have their dogs out there, actually.
Okay. So they had their dogs out here. But anyways, several dogs hit in some directions. Some headed over in the construction.
So, what did he say? Several dogs hit in several directions?
Several dogs hit in some directions.
In some directions. Several dogs hit in some directions.
Some headed over in the construction.
In some directions, and some headed over to the construction site.
Takes it down to the retention pond, which is only knee deep, and they drained it, and they didn't find anything, and that's where the scent disappears.
I do remember that. I do remember that because they did bring them in there. I do remember that one.
I need to listen to this one more time, guys. I apologize, but I need to hear this.
Dogs stopped. It stopped at the door. Then another one says that it stopped at the damn dumpster through where the new construction is. Which one is it? I don't know.
Stopped at the door.
It's
that's interesting.
Stories told.
Exactly, and neither one of them are remotely true.
So which one is it? Because they're not. Nothing's adding up.
So here's what I can tell you. So day one, they had at least 5 dogs that started out. Mm-hmm. Now,
I see the dogs. I mean, I did see the dogs.
So throughout the 8 days that they were searching, mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many dogs they brought in. They brought dogs in from out of state, different counties, all over the place.
County had their dogs out there. I mean, I can probably name a lot of the counties that did have their dogs out there, actually.
Okay. So they had their dogs out here. But anyways, several dogs hit in some directions. Some headed over in the construction. Takes it down to the retention pond, which is only knee deep, and they drained it, and they didn't find anything, and that's where the scent disappears.
I do remember that. I do remember that because they did bring them in there. I do remember that one.
At the end of the driveway Sunday night, was there any strange cars around the end? Did the dogs, and they want to know, did the dog pick up that scent at the end of the driveway?
Okay.
No,
so I'd like to clarify this whole dog scent thing for once and for all.
Mhm.
So the dog scent, everybody said, oh, the dogs didn't get a scent, dogs didn't get the dogs got a scent. What the dogs got and where it led to, there's a lot of misinformation as far as to the road, to the construction site, to this, to that, to this. For the record, there were so many dogs used. I don't know if we actually have a true count. On the day one, there was 5 dogs automatically. We know for a fact. They brought dogs in from out of state, different counties, all over the place. But of all the dogs, there was a couple that took them through a construction zone and took them over to a retention pond. Now, the retention pond is no higher than knee deep.
Right.
They walked it and they drained it. But from there, the scent disappears. There's poof.
Right. Right.
But that's not a sin of Sebastian. That's not a scent of Sebastian.
I was curious about a statement that Miss Proudfoot made earlier that canine dogs hit on the barn.
Mag, that's like a thing where you have to like stretch it for it to, right? The tensioner.
Around the home and near a retention pond. Did that happen?
I'm not sure about the barn, but the retention pond, yes.
Because law enforcement says the dogs did not hit. But Miss
There's
Proudfoot says they did hit around the retention pond.
So there's been a lot of
Good point,
miscommunication in regards to what is and what is not. To help clear that up,
Let's clear it
law
up.
enforcement has actually spoken directly with me, showed me a few things. What I can tell you is from day one, there was 5 dogs that started the scent for the search.
You
And
just
then
said
after that, from the next
he just said he didn't know how many dogs. Hey, Lisa.
8 days out from that, there have been dogs from all over the country that have come in and done searches and had scent hits in various locations. But I would say a certain percentage of them tend to go toward the same spot, which would have been a retention pond.
So the law enforcement dogs did not hit on the retention pond. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they did. There was at least 3 that I know for a fact that did hit on the retention pond.
And the pond has been drained.
It is amazing to me. Amazing to me. This is the stepfather of Sebastian Rogers. And he's saying these dogs hit on this retention pond. Wow. Just the people that was there they hadn't even been there 45 minutes yet. A few others are covering the alleged part-time. I've been. Have you covered this? I kind of getting off to the side there, but so when it comes to the neighbor, in the beginning, right off the bat, as soon as Sebastian went missing, it was alleged that KK was having an affair, which is interesting because, I mean, that usually just doesn't come out of anywhere. Something like that when your kid is missing and they say, well, mom's having an affair, allegedly. I will say that I do have an opinion on it. And my opinion on that is that I believe Edgar suspected and what has been, we'll say, rumored is that he allegedly came home that evening and threw a fit. That you guys remember that there is allegedly a neighbor or two that Edgar and them don't really care for each other. Right? Now, I'll say this. Where I differ with some creators on this, I don't believe, in my opinion, he is involved in anything related to Sebastian. I do think that he perhaps could perhaps know, especially if there was something going on. Um, and this is to the so allegedly the neighbor, I didn't hear that he cried. I heard that he was really upset at the vigil, but again, it's I don't really like, I don't know. I'm not really too comfortable talking about it because of his family. They're even before Sebastian went missing, they were going through um some challenges in their family, allegedly. And with some alleged health issues going on in their family. And so things can happen. Lakeside, this is allegedly the rumor was since the beginning that KK was having an alleged extra marital relationship with a neighbor, allegedly. Now, that does not shock me in the least that KK or Edgar could be having an extramarital affair. Just my opinion. And the reason is because look at what their exes say about them. Right? I mean, the timeline doesn't really add up too well with when she left Seth and got with Edgar, and we've got allegedly KK sneaking in Edgar's home, him being a married man at the time, Nina pregnant. Isn't it odd that she got that call to pick up that niece? Wouldn't that have been planned in advance? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I think that's, yeah. I think so, Tina. I don't think that either one of them doing something like that is like the least shock for me. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you so much, Laura. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Justice, for all you do for Sebastian and for the other missing children, giving us updates. Love you. Thank you so much, Laura. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really, really do appreciate you, my love. Oh, thank you, Brown Eyed. Thank you, love, for gifting a pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you. I see pearls look amazing on you, darling. Make sure you thank our beautiful brown-eyed gal for gifting that pearl necklace if you received that. Justin, about the RV, the first park was something like Sunny Days. Yes. or easy. It was easy days. And the picture that you have of him, RV, that was taken was Yogi Bear. So the picture we have does not have a skirt. That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. Yes. He was allegedly at the easy days, and then after allegedly after he went back home and took his fifth wheel, and then they came back, I guess that is when they went to alleged Yogi Bear. Well, thank you, Raven. The thing is, the thing that bothers me about speaking about the the I mean, I understand that extramarital things, if they happen, can cause a big blow up, obviously, right? It can be a big blow up. But what I really feel bad about is I feel bad for the neighbor's family, and because if something like that is going on, that affects the whole family. And especially for the, from what I understand, his, wife at the time was dealing with some very serious medical issues. Right. And it affects the children and all of that. So I that's kind of why I've really kind of stayed away with talking about that. That's just me. We all do things differently as creators, and what it may be fine for one person may not be. You just have to go with your heart. And what your convictions are as a human. I'm sure if the two are friendly enough to be swingers. Well, I don't know. I just feel, I just feel bad for, when there's health problems going on, and they have kids and stuff. Even if the guy's not even, I don't know if he's a good guy or not or whatever, but still, I just try to not. I don't think he has anything to do, in my opinion, with I don't think he had anything to do with the night Sebastian went missing. I'll just say that. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. Just because we know about, or we are told, that these individuals were allegedly perhaps, doing the horizontal polka, doesn't mean his family knows. You got me? So I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Lily, I mean, Edgar did have things on his, Facebook with all the swinger things and all that. And that's true, Joe. People have open relationships. They sure do. Yep. Whatever I guess works for them. Sugar beet, I don't think it was. I still don't think it was. This was a pre-planned thing. I don't. Could be completely wrong, but he doesn't want to be exposed. Simple as that. I don't blame him. I mean, I think it's kind of a thing that it's kind of been an open secret, if you will, for a long time. Um, you just got to think of, their yards are, Edgar, and KK's backyard is, and their backyard, his backyard are right there. And Edgar's not at home a lot. And something that has always stuck with me, I've told you guys this before. One of the only times I've ever seen Edgar take a breath and really stop and think before he speaks is the question that was asked to him. What would you have done if you could, if you could look back all of this, what would you have changed? And he pauses and he says, I would have probably worked closer to home. And that's always stuck with me. And I know a lot of people's minds went, oh, because Sebastian. Nope. In my opinion, it was because of KK. I would have probably been home closer to KK because of, across the road or down the street, if you will. You know what I mean? Work closer to home. It was a very humble answer. I saw that to a reflection of his situation. Yes, Zoot. Yep. Exactly, Zoot. It was one of the few times I've seen Edgar reflect. Really, not just a impulsive fly back at you answer, right? Not just a, I'm going to get you, or I'm going to be a smart ass back or anything like that, but it was a real reflective answer. And I really appreciated him answering like that, to be quite honest with you, because to me, it was genuine. It was a genuine answer that he was speaking about. The sight of them in the camper talking with Nancy Grace. Yeah. If you will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%. Well, he married a cheater just like himself. What did he expect? Yeah, I mean, I agree. And him having to call Seth and said, I'll never forget that. Nope. Yep. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Nope. That's how he says it. Yeah. I do too, Bushby. I do too. I think sometimes in life things are just all the right elements are aligned. Sometimes you can be in that really bad mood, or your partner can be in that really bad mood, and you can be in that really, really bad mood at the same time, or whatever, and it just collides. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but I will just say I do not think at all that Sebastian walked out of his house. Right? Oh, absolutely, Chris. I absolutely believe Chris wanted to be there every night for a reason. For a reason. I don't think it was to play football with, in the back with Sebastian. But I do believe it was to see what was going on more. It's been uncomfortable to watch them. I agree, Zoot. I agree. It is uncomfortable seeing another person who, how there's these times whenever like you're talking to someone and you know the truth between you, but you're like, oh yeah, well, it's not that or bad or anything like that, but it really is. And it's like you both know the truth, but you're kind of not talking about the truth. It may be an uncomfortable situation between you two to talk about or whatever. That's what it's like, in my opinion, when you watch KK and Edgar speak about their story. You know what I mean? And it feels like, no, Joe was not CP. God, no. Joe's not CP. How crazy is it? That's a good point, Holly. That's a very good point. How crazy is it to not have a dash cam and not cam in the home? You're right. Justin, I feel like the whole thing could have been avoided if someone would have made the right decision that night. I think the whole thing could have been avoided if you just understood each other. I don't think that Sebastian was ever heard, or, in my opinion, his word was ever valued by anyone in that side of the family. I just don't feel that. It was just like, oh, whatever. Oh, whatever, Sebastian. All this, all that. No. Let's finish this.
All the way back, front to our subdivision. Okay. If you go down Kelly, all the way down to Stafford, and walk down towards Stafford toward our house. From our house, if you're looking at my house, I'm gonna tell you where the dogs stand went. They started on the front porch. Okay. Because off the front porch, the dogs cut to the right. They go all the way down the side of the house along the fence. So with the back side, or with that right to the north. If you're looking at my house, okay, it's gonna be the right hand side. The dog goes all the way down the fence. The dog goes all the way back up into the yard, and then it cuts diagonally to the house next door. That's through their backyard, and that's the direction which the dogs take off. Now after that, that's where they get over to the main road, go up Ellen, and head over to the other subdivision. Okay. No,
And dogs, I can't,
how many? Yeah, a lot of dogs.
but day one, there was 5 dogs. There was a Belgian Malinois, a blue heeler, 2 bloodhounds, and a blue terrier.
I know with good dogs, like they'll do the tracking if it's on the ground, and then if they smell a stronger scent in the air that's closer, they'll go to that direct scent. So if all the dogs were tracking actually on the ground, then I feel like this is the point, like the spot to figure it out. But if it would have cross tracked, like actually like headed back, they should have been able to pick up on it. A good dog.
In the 8 days of the experience in searching, in the 8 days, on day one, the 5 dogs did that. Out of the 8 days, three different dogs from 3 different groups went to that same area, that same set on day.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that. He says 3 different dogs from 3 different groups came and went in that same area. See how this call is the flashlight trail. Yes, but it was abandoned because it was failed to be substantiated. Yes. And I don't believe it was Sebastian at all. But what I do find extremely interesting, and I don't find it a coincidence personally, this is just me speaking as another person. I find it interesting how this car went up all the way to the end of the road. Did the person get out? And did they go to the pond? I don't know. Or the dumpster? I don't know. But then, they turn around and then they come down on Stafford. And then they go in the yard. And that is the exact way that Edgar is saying the dogs went. Is it a scent that the dog is picking up, a familiar scent? You think so? Hey, Robin. Thank you, my love. Really do appreciate the hi, Justin, and all you beautiful pearls. I am late. Just made it. I was so good to meet you and everyone else. But thank you so much, Robin. It was a pleasure seeing you as well. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you, my love. Thank you so much. Justin made him cut his mullet. Well, girls got to do what a girl's got to do,
Two of those dogs
It's very interesting.
did the same path. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that was a bloodhound and a blue terrier.
It was probably their dog.
Yeah, those 2 were probably the better ones. Now the guy, I can't remember this guy. I called him Michael, but I think they called him Michelle.
Okay.
He's French. He's out of North Carolina, I believe. He trains.
He teaches he trains trainer handlers.
Yes. They brought his dogs out, and one of his dogs did the same path. From what I was told, that's why I was like, well, there we go, folks. That's why.
Yes, I'll play it, Summer. 1 second here.
Dumpster through where the new construction.
Okay. Right here.
Construction is. Which one?
Chris described the dog path 4 different times. Only the last one was a phone call he never expected the public to hear. And only the last one explains it in great detail, quote, exactly where the dogs tracked before ending at the retention pond. It's very interesting. Lauren,
it's 2 different stories told.
Lauren is exactly right, because in my opinion, he never expected for that call to be recorded because they're outside, you know what I mean? And they couldn't let him, wouldn't eventually tell Seth that those 300 pages. Yeah. The play-by-play he gave narc divers. Yes. A ground tracking dog will not pick up a scent. I find it interesting. I don't know I mean, even on the last one, he gives the breed on, I think it's this one.
I was curious about a statement that Miss Proudfoot made earlier that canine dogs hit on the barn around the home and near a retention pond. Did that happen?
I'm not sure about the barn, but the retention pond, yes.
Because law enforcement says the dogs did not hit, but Miss
There's been
Proudfoot
a
says they did hit around the retention pond.
so there's been a lot of miscommunication in regards to what is and what is not. To help clear that up, law enforcement has actually spoken directly with me, showed me a few things. What I can tell you is from day one, there was 5 dogs that started the scent for the search. And then after that, from the next 8 days out from that, there have been dogs from all over the country that have come in and done searches and had scent hits in various locations. But I would say a certain percentage of them tend to go toward the same spot, which would have been a retention pond.
So the law enforcement dogs did.
Okay. All right. Now,
exactly, and neither one of them are remote.
all right. Now, 1-800, what did you want played? What part was it? About what? When she was talking about going down to, where was it? Where was it? Edgar is 3 sources of misinformation, no doubt. I understand what Edgar law enforcement is telling you. What was it, 1-800 that you wanted about when she said she accompanied her husband? Okay. So here we go. Let me find it.
Oh, there's a light above the garage. It's on at all times.
1 second.
There's 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Bear with me. Extreme cooperative law enforcement. Is it true that you meant working with the law? Work with you going back to your miss. Proudfits. No, I'm not going back to work. Okay, it's probably right here. Well, there's 2 different parts they talk about work.
And had you guys been talking on the phone before 6 a.m. or did you initially call Mr. Proudfoot at the time you realized Sebastian was gone?
I called him when I realized Sebastian was gone.
That's interesting. She said, okay. Sorry, I just caught something there. She just said she called him when she realized Sebastian was gone. I can't find him, remember? Remember, at 6:03 is when she allegedly called Edgar, and not until 6:33 she's on the phone with non-911 emergency on a 3-way looking in the area. So she had to talk to Edgar for a full 30 minutes before they called the non-emergency number. That is interesting. Are they looking at Nancy through a monitor to the interview? Yes. Yeah. They are. You got to wear an earpiece and that. Justin, your points then is. Thank you, Lily. Thank you so much, my dear.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We
Hold on. Justin, she never talked to police on that phone call. Edgar said he put her on mute. Wait a second, Mohawk. Where did he say that? Because Edgar also says in another place that he says, I was on the phone with her pretty much the entire time. If she's muted, then you got to be on the phone. You get what I mean? Did any of Justin, did any of the lights in our house flip on between 6 and 6:03? Not that I'm aware of. I don't know how you look at a 3,000 square foot house in 3 minutes. But he said he was on the phone with law enforcement pretty much the entire time. No, he said that too. Sammy, they said, Edgar said, I was pretty much on the phone with them all morning as well. Justin, the sister, where was that? The sister that said she was looking for Sebastian since 6:30, did she say no shoes? How did she know that? Well, this was the next day. This was about 23 hours later. He left without shoes, left with the flashlight, and that's it. Her dash cam footage should show what time her car moved, shouldn't it? Yes, should. Absolutely should. Law enforcement will know anyways.
were given information that you guys have left the home. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I'm going back to work.
You're going back to work. What about you, Miss
Night,
Proudfoot?
Grace.
No, I'm not going back to work. Not yet, at least.
Did you leave the home also, Miss Proudfoot?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
To accompany my husband going back to work, and then I'm coming back.
Okay. When will you be back? Do you know yet?
No, not yet.
This is another interesting point. She says, I'm here to accompany my husband to go back to work. Well, first of all, he never went back to work there. He never went back to work there. Also, on this call, I'll see if I can play it maybe tomorrow. On this call, this person that allegedly works with Edgar, what was my point? I was reading something. I'll think of it in a second. Let me back it up so if I can remember.
No, I'm not going back to work. Not yet, at least.
Oh, on this phone call, this guy that says I guess he's Edgar's boss, allegedly. He said, I was trying, or he said, we wanted to make sure that we got Edgar out of this job site so we could go to a different one. So nobody, I guess, would know where he was working. She might as well say I'm accompanying my husband because he doesn't trust me to be home alone, in my opinion. Right? Right? So he never went back to work there. Never went.
Did you leave the home also, Miss Proudfoot?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
To accompany my husband going back
Yes,
to work,
Jenny.
and then I'm coming back.
Okay. When will you be back? Do you know yet?
No, not yet.
Are you concerned about being away while the search is ongoing?
Absolutely, I am.
Then why are you going?
Because
They went there, in my opinion, because they were more comfortable there. So another lie he told on the stand in court. Yeah, you're exactly right, Mohawk. Oh, I got to show y'all something. It's unrelated to this, but I got to show y'all something because it reminds me of something that you just said right there. So another lie. He never went back to work there. He said, she's going around my work and all this. Well, you never went back. He had never went back. He had never worked there after Sebastian went missing.
my son could be anywhere, and we're looking everywhere and anywhere.
But you just happen to be in the same spot, right? The same area where Edgar was staying. So but you're looking anywhere and everywhere, right? Got it. Cool. Sure.
I've got a question for you.
Yes,
I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying. And I had asked him, I said, hey, you got to have a punishment for this. He says, yes, sir. And I said, okay.
Okay. So if this is years ago, y'all done got me sucked into this now. If this was years ago, Sebastian is only 15. He met Chris at what age? 8? Something like that. So you're talking to your stepson several years ago when he was in most likely single digits age with a chromosome deletion, autistic, however you didn't know at the time, and you're sitting him down and saying you got to have a punishment for this, and you say you're gonna whip him. You are all kinds of screwed up. A low red. CP could have been referring to CPS case in California. Well, I mean, if there was ones in California where he had been whipped, but he just says it was one time. I mean, if you believe that, fine, but I don't. What is your opinion on the new video going around about CP teaching Sebastian to ride a bike? I think with any relationship, there are good times, but just because there are good times doesn't mean their relationships don't change. And it doesn't mean that there's still a lot of bad times, right? Kids are very forgiving of their parents. They're very forgiving of their parents. They can have the biggest, what we would consider the crap parents that God ever stretched a piece of skin over. And they love their parents and they will defend their parents, many of them. Doesn't mean anything. It means there was a good day and it was a good moment. That's what it means. That's all. That's all it means. And was he at Sebastian's 15th birthday at the game show? If he was, why was his face blurred out? Right. I think they're exaggerated and they want to make themselves look as good as they can. Now, I will go back to the bushes. You don't have to go back to the bushes, the truth, please. I mean, yeah, I think, they put their, they're trying to put their best foot forward and stuff. But the thing about it is, I don't know. I really think Edgar has a very skewed belief system. I mean, to give parental advice about not taking your child's stuff away for a time, but taking your child's stuff away permanently. What if KK, or what if Sebastian or KK or anyone didn't like Edgar putting his favorite glass on a table or something like that, right? And they said in his room, his own personal room. And you go in there and you say, I told you to take it to the kitchen. And you go throw it out forever. It's not, it's a permanent thing to throw something out and then to give parental advice on that. You are twisted. You're twisted. You're exactly right, Josie. Oh my God, DC. He would flip a fucking gasket. He would flip a gasket. The whack got him. Yeah. Yep. Bingo. Bingo. I want to show y'all this, guys. This is unreal. Please stick around and listen to this. You're not like, we support the police, right? We give the police all the praise, and they really protect us. But I want to show you something that happened in Hanceville Police. I want you to hear. I'm going to be following this story. This is one of the saddest things I have ever heard in my life. When you hear this guy's unbelievable story, you're going to listen to this and you're going to think, oh, it couldn't get worse. Oh, it couldn't get worse. And then it gets worse. And then you're going to say, there is no way it could get worse. There's no way. And then let me tell you something. It gets way worse. Listen to this. Credit goes to ABC 3340. Link will be provided in the description. You guys just are not even going to believe this. Let me write this down. Here we go. It's crazy. Crazy. Crazy.
Good afternoon. Some of you already know who I am. My name is Brian Campbell. I've lived in Hanceville 62 years.
Turn the volume down a little bit.
And I was a victim of this police department. I will preface my remarks by saying, not one day, not 1 minute in my life have I ever been in any kind of trouble. Maybe a speeding ticket. On May the 20th, 2023, I was caring for my wife. Some of you know me. I've known some of you since you were children. I was caring for my wife with Alzheimer's and my disabled daughter. On that day, an incident happened at my residence. Hanceville.
The worst thing about, good cops don't like bad cops, right? Because it makes it harder for them. Yes, Betty. Yeah. Yeah. I feel so bad for Dolly, though. Her husband died today. CP and Cruella equals Brian and Roberta Laundry. You said it perfectly, Cuckoo. Look at this man shaking.
Was dispatched.
I see. You need to listen to this.
Approached
This
my
is
home.
Alabama, I think.
I didn't know why they were there. I inquired why they were there. Did not get a response. So I proceeded to close the door to my house. Upon doing so, one of the officers took his foot, jammed it in the door, and forced his way into my home. Asked me to step outside.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month?
I don't know, but they can, that would be nice. Hold on. Let me get it to where we don't have ads. I've got it on my wrong account. Sorry. We're at 1 minute and 18 seconds. 1 second here. Pardon me, guys. Let me fix this to where. Damn it. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Y'all got to see this. It's insane. I'm sorry. Where the hell did it go? History. Hold on one second. Oh, I've got the link right here. What the hell am I doing, Justin? All right, here it is. All right, here we go. So we don't have any ads. We're going to start where we left off.
A lawsuit that took over 1 year and $17,000 of my money to defend myself. That officer hit me from behind, which I can't hardly still walk, with his knee, took me to the ground, and beat me mercifully. My attorneys have the photographs. Coleman Hospital has the records. I was handcuffed and roughed up really bad, placed in a police vehicle. It was May, so it wasn't very hot. It was not running, no air conditioning on, but I began to hyperventilate. I'm a 2-time survivor of cancer.
You haven't heard nothing
and
yet,
a
Tina.
heart patient. Well, I was in that vehicle.
Y'all haven't heard nothing.
When one of them finally returned to the vehicle, I was in real bad shape. An ambulance was dispatched and the paramedics. Well, the only problem I had was I couldn't breathe. Once I got air, I was fine. I was then taken by the officer who brutally beat me up to Hansville jail. On the way to the jail, and I was never allowed to explain anything to him. I was never told I was under arrest. I was never told anything till I got on my way. Well, actually, till I got here. On the way, that officer said to me, "Men like you are nothing but pieces of human increment." And that's not the words he used. I was married to my wife.
Remember, this gentleman was in his home and his wife has Alzheimer's. They're old. They don't know what the hell, some police officers going at their door.
52 years. I never touched her.
Y'all haven't heard nothing yet.
Never. The incident involved. And I was trying to tell them with her Alzheimer's, she didn't know what she was doing and tried to exit the vehicle while moving. I pulled her back by her hair, and I was admitted to that. And that constituted, in your officer's opinion, domestic violence. Anyways, and that was all perpetrated by a 911 call where the person hung up. When I got to the jail, my abuse continued. Maybe it's procedure, I don't know. I was handcuffed to a bench right out there for 3 hours. I say this somewhat shamefully, but I'm a cancer survivor and I'm incontinent. And while I was there, I desperately need to go to the bathroom. I requested from the officer, and the city hall is right down the hall. And I was handcuffed, was denied.
You haven't even heard all the bad part. Not even close.
Then I was placed in filthy rags, and I'll tell you, I've traveled all around this world, and that's no lie. As a buyer for a major retailer, I've been in every country you can imagine. The facilities in this jail, and I hope they've changed, were filthy. Were feces on the wall. Feces.
I mean, have you seen a Lowe's or a Walmart bathroom?
Feces on the water fountain. Feces all over the floor. Looked like it hadn't been cleaned in 5 years. Have any of you ever went in that jail and looked at it? I don't care if you're a criminal, you deserve better treatment than that. I was denied food and water because on the way to jail, I said, "Why don't you just shoot me and take me out of my misery?" I was put on suicide watch. No food, no water, no nothing. A kind lady jailer come up and had seen my record. She said, "Mr. Campbell, I'll get you some water and they don't have to know." She said, "I looked at your record. You've never been in any kind of trouble." I said, "Yes, ma'am. When I was younger, I got speeding tickets, but that's the extent of it." Long story short, I finally talked to one of the
Speeding ticket is not criminal. That is an infraction.
3 chiefs that's no longer here. Ha ha. This gentleman, chief, was a reasonable man, and I finally got to explain my story to him.
Y'all haven't heard
And
that.
he was very empathetic. And I know it was only my word against your 2 officers. And he said to me, "I will make a phone call and see what I can do." Because I found out that my stay would be 2 days in jail, 48 hours.
2 days in jail.
And I was charged with 2 felonies, domestic
Alabama.
violence
Alabama.
and resisting. I was told my bond was $2,000. So they proceeded to put me in that filthy jail. I spent the night in that jail. Next day, the chief did as he said. My magistrate came down. It's a Sunday. I had the money cash on $2,000.
Listen to this.
She said, pay your bond, you can go home. I went to pay my bond, and this may be the procedure. If it is, I've never been in trouble, I don't know. But I was told, we cannot take cash on the weekend. So that told me you can't even trust your own police department with cash. But if you use a credit card, we'll let you go home. Reached in, got my credit card. Oh, but by the way, do you council members know this? It's $200 more if you use your credit card.
Oh, wow.
Yep, $200 more if you use your credit card. He's talking to the councilmen and women.
So I paid.
Crazy.
I'm
Absolutely.
ready to
crazy.
go home. By the way, by this time I was not
You haven't
allowed
heard
a
it
phone
yet.
call. I was never told anything about my charges.
It gets worse.
I called my son. Some of you know him. He's an upstanding citizen, was once a manager of LP down here. He's now a private contractor. He said, Daddy, they're not going to let you go home. I said, what do you mean? They're not going to let me go home. He said, well, they told me that you're going to be transferred to Coleman Regional.
Not on the weekend.
I said, why? They have you under a suicide watch.
I had to,
You have to
I
be
didn't want to say
evaluated.
that. Sorry.
So Sunday evening, and believe me, I'm no
He said
harm to
the S
anybody,
word. Sorry.
and was certainly no threat to those 2 policemen. Neither one of them could have taken me easily. I'm at Coleman Regional. I'm kept overnight. When the doctors saw my beat up body, they asked me, what could have possibly happened? And I told them, the only good thing that came out of that is the nicer of the 2 officers was the one who transported me. On the way to the hospital, I said, young man, tell me how you could possibly think that he could think that I was resisting. His exact words, and I'll never forget them, because my wife and my daughter, my wife was dying then. He said his perception was that you were resisting. I said, you were there. Long story short, there came time for discovery. I didn't know anything about discovery, paid 2 attorneys. They said, here's what's going to happen. They got to present their evidence, and you can present your evidence.
Listen to this.
Well, Kathy, and a lot of you know my wife, Kathy, a better woman than ever was. She was on her deathbed. And I called up my attorney, Johnny Berry, and I said, I'm supposed to be there. He said, Brian, don't worry about it. He said, me and Brandon will be there. You don't have to be there.
Now remember, this happened to Betty too. Betty's lawyer was there, right? Or said they were going to be there. Listen to this.
So I stayed with my wife with hospice.
The lawyers.
I wasn't there. In the meantime, my wife died. A month and a day later, my daughter died. On the night I was sending pictures to the funeral.
His wife died. A month and a day later, his daughter died. Unbelievable. The lawyers told him that he didn't need to be there. And again, he got in trouble for not being there. Very similar to what
Funeral home.
I think
2
Betty
more
went through.
handful officers came to my residence to
Not
arrest me
as
again.
bad, obviously, but still
They came
similar
to
in that
arrest
area.
me for bond forfeiture because I didn't show up on that court hearing.
Yep. That's right. They come and arrest him. His wife is dead. His 2 attorneys are at court for him. His daughter is dead. They come and arrest this man for bond forgery because he did not show up. His fucking attorneys were there. Listen to this. Listen. It gets worse.
My attorneys were both there. They represented me. I paid them well. I'm making these arrangements and getting ready to be taken to jail. My daughter was being buried the very next day. Fortunately, I know Kenneth now. And I wasn't in any shape to call him, but my son Kevin called and he said, look, my daddy, we just lost my sister. You know, he's a good man. Anybody knows him. He said, they just leave him alone? Never told me what the warrant was for, by the way. Kenneth told him, or I don't know if it was Kenneth or who it was. Someone later told me the chief told him to just go on and let me turn myself in. Okay, I called my attorneys and told them what happened. I still don't know what the warrant's for. I didn't know it was bond forfeiture. I go on to the cemetery and I buried my daughter. On that day that I buried my daughter, I went to Hinsville down here to this courtroom, and that judge, who was a joke, that sat right there, read me the riot act and told me, had me handcuffed immediately, and told me he's going to put me under the jail.
Under the jail. This old man who buried his daughter the same day. Who in the fuck? Pardon me, don't pardon me. Whatever. What in the hell is wrong? Oh, it totally is, Tina.
You were remodeling, so I sat handcuffed out here in the hall for another 3 or 4 hours. During that time, I was told I was being arrested for bond forfeiture. I said, what bond? They said, well, you didn't appear for the discovery. No argument from my part would be heard, because I'm just an average citizen, like all these people here, an innocent average citizen. I was transported to county. I sat in county the night of my daughter, she was buried, sat in county, and was going to be put in jail under no bond, 0, because I forfeited my bond, allegedly. My son knows the sheriff real well and the chief deputy. He called and he said, look, I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm not going to say my dad's innocent or guilty, but we just buried my sister. And they told me to disrobe, go take a shower, put me in the rubber shoes, or get ready to put me in the orange jumpsuit. And the desk deputy said, Mr. Campbell, today's your lucky day. And I'm thinking, you just don't know. It's 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I said, well, tell me. He said, you've been released, ROR. I think that's released on your own recognizance. And I was released. We come back in front of this same judge. It continues almost for an entire year at more financial expense. And I'll conclude what I have to say by your police, untrained, uninformed, and you, like the lady before me said, you're the accountable ones. I was a manager of a major retail company, top level, and the buck stopped at me. The decisions to make these people in the roles they're in fall on each of you. And I ask again, have any of you ever looked inside that jail? And if it's changed, I'm shocked. But anyways, what I have to say don't amount to much, but I got my day and I could say my piece. My son said, well, exactly right. At least 100 people said, you ought to sue him. Well, in the first place, I'm not the kind of man that sues anybody. I've never done anybody wrong in my entire life. I'm a Christian and I believe in treating people Christ-like. Amen. Okay? And I didn't want a pound of flesh, but I never got so much as I'm sorry this happened to you. And Mr. Sawyer, I've known you a long time. Another incident happened and I had to come to my residence. At that time, you brought the new chief with you on this other issue. I told you a little bit about this story. Your exact words to me in the conversation,
Unbelievable.
what do you expect me to do? And my response was, so help me. You got a Bible? I swear on it. I said, what I want you to do is clean up this town. Clean up this mess. I said, the people of this town deserve it. I'm just one individual. And nobody really cares what I have to say. Imagine if it happened to you, losing your child and your wife, and then being drugged through this crap, and then financial expense on top of that. You know what your response was to me? Do you remember, Jimmy?
I remember exactly the way.
Well, if I'm dying, if I'm lying, I'm dying. You looked at me and said, that's why this man right here is the new chief. He is going to clean it up.
Shit.
He cleaned it up, all right.
Yeah, he did.
And I would have never said another word about this. In fact, my son said, Daddy, don't sue him. You've been through too much. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you more hurt. I can barely walk as it is from the injury to my back from that officer. And I agreed with him after praying a lot on it. But when I saw this nonsense, I said, maybe my story's not good. And maybe they'll put me off as a fool like some other people that have stories. But I swear to God, every word I told you is the truth. One thing I left out. At that time, you had 8 police officers. Because the chief told me himself, you had 8. That day, while I was sitting in that squad car in my driveway, and there's a man in this room that can testify to the fact who's my neighbor. 5 squad cars showed up, 7 of your 8 officers, and you would have thought I was a murderer or a drug dealer.
7 of 8 officers in the entire county, city, whatever the hell it is. Insane.
Fact. Then one of them told my neighbor in this room, who I don't know if he's going to speak or not, but that night when before I buried my daughter, or the funeral, when they came with that warrant, they left. My good neighbor came over to check on me, see if I was okay. When he was walking through my yard, and if I'm misquoting you, sir, you know who you are? He said, one of them officers stopped me, or I asked him what's going on, and he said, answer please. We're not through with Mr. Campbell yet. Is that professionalism? I say no. So
they said, we're not through with Mr. Campbell yet. They weren't done. What the hell could this old man do?
I conclude my remarks. I love this town. I wouldn't have brought my family here and lived all this time if I didn't. And some of you lived here longer than I have. It's got to have an input to it. If it don't, it's just a continuation of the same thing. And it's happened too many times in my lifetime. And it got worse in the last 3 years.
I think he got pulled over, and his wife, she has dementia, and she started to get out of the car, and there's cops, you know what I mean? You don't want her to jump out of the car. She's got dementia. You don't know what she's going to do. And he grabbed her by her ponytail and was like, no, come on, like that, you know. That's what he did. He grabbed her by her ponytail, and they said it was DV, domestic, or they said it was domestic battery or domestic abuse when they saw him do that. He was trying to keep her from going out of the car. He didn't hurt her.
Years. Anyways, I conclude my remarks. I appreciate your time. I hope this sinks in. Yes, I'm mad and angry and upset. Put yourself in my position. How would you feel?
Very good.
The one that beat me up so bad, they let go immediately. I've still got the paperwork in my home. The other officer was a good officer. I will not deny it. He was a wonderful police officer. And he may be one of the ones they kept. But he was professional. Right now, I got it on. I don't know. I'd be glad to give it to the press or anyone else that wants to know. Very good.
There you go. That was just crazy. I was in the shower today, and it, auto played, and that played, and I was like, I cannot believe. I think he is suing them. I'm pretty sure. I'll try to figure out more on this and kind of follow up with it. Small Town USA. That is something you would expect from Iran, Iraq or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, this is America. But there are, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent people, and they don't like bad cops either. But again, we just saw in Tennessee, there was a fairly close to, I can't remember, fairly close to Hendersonville. I covered it. There's some corrupt ones out there too. And that is, as time goes by, is going to be more and more exposed. This happened, it wasn't very long ago. One second. It was, let me show you. Right, your senators. Yes, you're exactly right. Your senators will do more.
The most simple, scalable thing about my business is my lead qualification using ManyChat and ads I click to Instagram. So I've always been about direct messages since I started my business back in 2018. But as I started to grow and scale,
oh my God, stop, move. Why do I want to? Okay.
The most simple, scalable thing about my business is my lead qualification using many.
Trying to see when it.
The most simple, scalable thing about my business
is
my
so
lead
annoying as hell.
qualification using ManyChat and ads I click to Instagram.
Look,
so I've
the
always
skip
been
ad
about
won't
direct
work.
messages since I started my business.
It doesn't
back
work.
In 2018. But as I started to grow and
Neither does the
scale,
damn
I
volume.
knew I needed a tool like ManyChat to be able.
There we go.
Police department tonight during its
Okay, here we
first
go.
meeting since the arrest of 5 Hansville police officers and one of their wives. Hello, I'm Brenda Ledun.
And I'm Ariel Bailey. Public comment lasted more than an hour. ABC 3340's Megan Scarano was at that meeting, and she joins us live from Hansville right now. And Megan, the indictments came down more than a week ago, but the council says it needs more time to make the right decision.
Muriel, the council tabled all action regarding the police department tonight, but did set up a special called meeting in order to have more time to be able to make that decision. Many community members spoke during public comment, many questioning how this was ever able to happen in the first place.
That hole where they were able to access the evidence. Who in here for the city council knew about that hole? And knew that the evidence was being held in that room. The truth is,
No decision by council after grand jury recommends abolishing Hansville PD. There, since the death of the okay, this was the dispatcher that died. I think this is how it was all started. His name's Brian Campbell, Hansville resident, 62 years. It says that's the full story, but let me look at something here. Let's see here. I'm trying to find when this was. ABC. August 20. It was this past August, I think. Let me see here. August 2023, I believe. Hold on, let me make sure. This is Sumner. Oh, this is Sumner County. What's this? Ooh. Hold on, I need to read this. I need to see what this is. What's that, girl mom? Did you know Sumner County DA shields election officials from trial in the backroom deal? By Candy Webb, former reporter for the Hendersonville Standard, February 23rd, 2025. Thank you, Kiki. Look up Lisa Edwards. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Sumner County Administrators of Elections, Lori Ashley, who was arrested May 15, 2023, on June 20th, 2023, and charged with theft and DV, respectively, has avoided the risk of being found guilty thanks to the sweet deal she was given by the Sumner County District Attorney Ray Whitley. Lori was granted a suspension of persecution pretrial division. That this means if in the following 11 months and 29 days she does 20 hours of community service, doesn't get charged with any new crimes and a few additional things, her criminal charges will be dismissed and she can request that the records of her arrest get expunged. It also means that Sumner County residents are not going to know whether she is truly guilty, because using the path allows her to avoid a trial, which would bring both sides of this incident into the open for examination. Personally, I think if she believes she is innocent, she would demand a trial to clear her name and the Sumner County residents that she serves. Lori's husband, the alleged victim of the DV, passed away reportedly of the complications of Alzheimer's in 2024. Oh my God. Therefore, those charges were dropped, but she still faced the indictment charges regarding the theft of her tenant's trailer. Hold on, I need to turn this music off. I disagree with Whitley authorizing this pretrial diversions deal because Lori holds a position of public trust and was accused of theft. As such, she would have had to have seen through this to the end with a hearing or trial so that the public would know whether she was guilty, therefore no longer worthy of community trust. 2, she requested a preliminary hearing in General Sessions Court, a mini trial where the judges decides based upon preponderance of evidence whether there is reason to believe that crimes were committed, and if so, whether they were committed by the accused person. The judge can either dismiss the charges or find there is enough proof to send it to the grand jury for an examination. She had the option of waiving her right to a preliminary hearing and just having it sent to the grand jury, but she asked for the hearing. A- Um, at said hearing, she employed a court reporter to document the hearing. Following the preliminary hearing of both cases, Judge Ron Blanton, here we go, chose to send them to the grand jury, who, after hearing the facts of the case as presented to the assistant district attorney, ADA David Voraz, handed down the indictment on each charge, a court document that was believed Lori did in fact commit the crimes. Number 4, next step would have been a hearing by a criminal court judge or a jury of the peers that which she actually requested because Lori had a professional acquaintanceship with many of the judges in our county due to her job in the election commissions. They recused themselves from the case. An order was filed appointing special judge Kanja Bab from Nashville to preside over the trial. And here where things went sideways. Just before Lori's first appearance at General Sessions Court on August 23rd, 2023, following several continuances, a source let there be known that there was already a pre-trial division on the table. At the time, Lori was charged with DV against her husband and theft of a trailer from one of her tenants, Kay Brooks, and I attended a pre-trial hearing. At the attendance where Lori and her husband and Charlena Miller, a licensed lawyer who regularly appoints on government, sorry, I lost my spot, officials and entities. When Kay Brooks and I arrived at the court, I introduced myself to ADA Voraz and asked him if he was aware there were witnesses who called the domestic assault in. Turns out that the ADA was not aware there had been witnesses. Police were called to Lori's home twice that day for 911 calls. Lori's husband called in the first time and witnessed to be alleged Lori's husband called in the first time and witnesses to the alleged next assault called in the second time. The witnesses were never mentioned in the affidavit. I spent years covering criminal trials for our local newspaper, so I know that the affidavit almost always name witnesses and detail what they tell the police. I found out about the witnesses when I filed a FOIA request for the 911 and heard the witnesses talk to the dispatch when they called for help. At the time, I called for the arresting officer to ask the witnesses were not mentioned in the affidavit. He said that they were going to be mentioned in the police filed report to the police department. Judges don't see police reports unless they request them. They are only provided with the affidavit. When Lori's case was called that day, the ADA asked the judge for the continuance based upon new information of witnesses. Judge Blanton granted the continuance, but made it clear that the parties that they needed to be prepared to settle to go to trial the next time, and also made it clear that he was not pleased and the witnesses were not named in the affidavit because of oversight can cause delays. How much longer is this? Okay. Judge Blanton ruled that based on what he heard during the preliminary hearings, he thought enough evidence Did I read that part? Okay. The order appointing Judge Babb to preside over the case said she could have it in Nashville. When she asked the ADA where it would be held, he said it was agreed that the judge, the defense attorney, Jay Ingram, and himself, that the judge was going to come to Gallatin for the trial. That would make it easier for the jurors than making them drive to Nashville. I called him every few weeks to ask if the dates have been chosen for November 2024 after a very busy state and federal election year. He told me that January 27th and 28th, 2025 were being set aside for the jury trial at the new courthouse in Gallatin. I called twice after that to confirm if it was still set for those dates to set in Gallatin. A couple days prior to the 27th, I called to confirm if it was on the schedule, and the ADA never returned my call. I called again the next day, and they didn't call me back. At that point, I believe something was up. I called the court clerks in Gallatin, who told me they had no paperwork of a pending jury trial. I called Nashville courts, where Judge Babb's presides, and her clerk had no idea about anything on the 27th in the courtroom and Lori's case or up in the Gallatin area. The morning of the 27th, Kay and I got in the courthouse in Gallatin early, but we could not find Lori listed on the dockets. In addition, I did see an ADA in any of the hallways. I didn't see an ADA in any of the hallways or courtroom. We went to the ADA's office, and his team texted him and called him, and he didn't respond. A few days later, after the pretrial division was filed in Sumner County, and it had been signed by our ADA, Lori's attorney, Judge Babbs, and Lori, on the morning of the 27th in Nashville, on the day the trial was supposed to have begun. I researched the pretrial divisions, and from what I found, it appears that the pretrial divisions must be presented to the district attorney, Ray Whitley. A judicial diversion, which is a different situation, can be okayed by the ADA, but a pretrial diversion must be presented to the court's DA, who then directs the ADA whether to accept or reject the request, which means that Whitley chose to give Lori this deal. I looked at the case files and saw that the ADA had indeed been filing motions and requests in preparation of jury trial. So I know he thought it was going to trial. I found out several days after the fact of the morning on the 27th, a hearing that was held in Nashville of Judge Babbs. Through the court, there was no docket or hearing or schedule on the clerks, and the pretrial division became a done deal. While the deal was signed by the ADA, I believe Whitley was presented with the application and made the decision and told the ADA to accept it and sign it. Otherwise, why would the ADA have wasted time filing motions and such regarding the upcoming jury trial? Kudos to him, by the way. He has always been respectful and professional anytime I've asked him a question. I believe Judge Babb planned to come up here and preside over the trial at some point, the 27th. Okay. I believe the citizens of Sumner County were never given the opportunity to see this case through the end. I believe the 27th hearing was proposedly handled in the manner to prevent citizens who were known for attending all hearings in the case and reporting the concerned citizens for knowing it was happening in the Nashville at the last minute. the day and the trial was supposed to begin in Gallatin. We only discovered an unscheduled hearing was held in Nashville because I checked the Sumner County Court Daily system and found the pretrial diversion that had never been filed. Wow. And if it is true that Ray Whitley must be presented with all pretrial diversions requests, and he directed the ADA on the case to accept or deny it, then it is squarely on his shoulders that Lori did not have to go through the jury trial that she originally requested. I believe that because Lori holds a position of public trust. It is Whitley's responsibility to deny her request for diversion. He owed it to the people who elected him to bring her before a jury to see what the jury decided. So Lori will not face the jury, nor will the public have closure about whether the administrator of the elections, a person necessarily held in high public trust, was determined by a jury to have supposedly stolen a trailer that she should not have owned. Wow. Girl, mom, my throat is killing me now. All right, guys. Much love. Good night, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about. But these lawyers end up. No, I'm just kidding, honey. I'm fine. These lawyers end up telling their clients that they don't need to come, and the judge is like, "Fine, we'll throw you in jail." I text you Brandy's post. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Wait. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everybody. It is Monkey Monday. Usually on days like this, I write something down or I post something publicly. But for some reason today, I was feeling that I needed to do this publicly and my voice to be heard. Today is March 3rd, 2025. Michael was abducted on July 27th, 2021. It was a Tuesday. It was hot. It was 112 degrees that day. Usually I don't share what I write in this book. Sometimes I share bits and pieces, but this is just usually for me. It has been 3 years of emptiness and broken hearts without Michael. 7 months of sleepless nights, wondering and worrying if you were safe or if you were warm or hungry. It has been 187 weeks of your baggie asking to go to your house, to come play with her making wishes for you to come home. It's been 1,315 days.
Yes,
Of
butterflies.
Papa fighting tooth and nail for you for answers. It has been 31,581 hours of a roller coaster of emotions that no human should ever have to endure. It has been 893,600 minutes. Minutes the world has not gotten to see the light in your beautiful eyes, see your beautiful smile, or hear your joyful voice and laugh.
Tracy, are you? I just want to be clear, Tracy. Are you being disrespectful, or are you asking genuinely? Please let me know.
It has been 113,616,000 seconds.
Okay, this is Michael Vaughn's mother, who has liver failure. Michael Vaughn has been missing almost 4 years now, and she's doing an update on this.
Hope,
Things are
faith,
coming
and
together.
prayers for you to come home. All of this time, Stacy, Sarah, Brandon, Adrian, you have sat back and watched the torture of Michael's mom, his dad, his sisters, his big brother. All of Monkey's loved ones, his friends and community. I do honestly do not understand how your mothers could condone the heartache that their child has and continues to cause Michael. I think to myself a lot. I wonder what memories your mothers have of you when you were 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you, any of you, or your family members or loved ones, remember those Christmases, Halloweens, any holidays when you were all together as a family? Well, Michael was robbed at those times. We do not get to be whole as a family anymore because of your actions. We do not get to have those memories. We do not get to have the memory of his first day of school, his first missing tooth, his first report card. Your families get to cherish all of those memories of you when you were little. And you stole them from Michael. You stole all of those memories from all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean the whole world. I wonder how your mothers still stand by you.
How could they?
I wonder if it's just hard to imagine your own child being the monster who stole the life and innocence of a sweet baby boy.
How do you sleep at night?
I will say that the Lord will see to justice for Michael.
Yes, he will. Amen.
You all who are involved will be held accountable
Amen.
for the pure evil you all are. You will be held accountable by Fruitland Police Department, our justice and legal system, and God. Today may be 1,315 days of heartache, Michael.
Yes, edit twin.
But I promise you that 3 years, 7 months, and 4 days, law enforcement, your family, your community have continued to search and pray to help bring you home.
Oh, Joe, they certainly did. And they still do.
I pinky
There's some
promise,
out there that
Monkey,
still do.
we will never give up. None of us here have or ever will. Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, Adrian, when are you going to help us bring Michael home? The charges for all of you are drawn. Be the one to help Michael come home. I have had a few more conversations recently with the DA's office. I am very, very confident in the team at Mike Duke's office, as well as the additional experts that have been assisting in Michael's case. The amount of information that Fruitland Police Department, other agencies, and the DA's office has gathered gives our family solid reassurance that justice will be served for Michael. So Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, Adrian, please find it in your hearts. Please tell us where Michael is.
I'll be in Idaho.
Let us bring him home. Let us put him to rest.
I have to rent a long-term house. I'll be there.
And to your mothers and your fathers and your loved ones, please think back to when Stacy and Brandon, Sarah, or Adrian were 5 years old. Wouldn't you want someone to do the right thing?
Joe.
Maybe you have grandchildren that's Michael's age. Wouldn't you want to know where your grandchild was?
Can you imagine? Brandy has even talked to these monsters that have did this to Michael. Web of Deceit, I think it's going to be soon. Really soon. Excuse me. And she has said that she will even ask even for some leniency, from what I understand, if they just tell where he is. Can you imagine begging for your child that does not come back? I'm getting heated. Does not come back the same way that he left almost 4 years ago. just wanting to know where he is.
Think for a second how you would feel if you knew for a fact, evidence, that these suspects harmed your grandchild.
It really is, Net Detective. It really is.
Michael Joseph Vaughn was born on June 24th, 2016. He was the joy of everybody. He lights up the room with his smile and his beautiful blue eyes.
Yes. It is. You're exactly right, Trisha. It's so unbelievably cruel that they have done and continue to torture her by withholding her child from her even after they did the unthinkable. And that's what really bothers me about a lot of these cases because, I'll go to Sebastian on this. There's people that know right now where Sebastian is. They know exactly where he is. What happened to him? While others just sit and suffer and wonder and cry and get sick because they don't want to go to jail. I get you don't want to go to jail. You fucked up. Here we are. They didn't want their kid like this either.
On July 27th of 2021, you made mistakes. And you can't take them back. But you can do what's right. And please,
I know I get loud for her, Lisa.
let Michael have peace. Give us our son. That's all I'm asking. I'll go away. Just tell me where Michael is. Because no matter what, you are going to face justice for what you have done.
We're all going to face a judgment.
Monkey, I love you.
But
and we're not giving
I don't
up.
want that
We
judgment.
haven't stopped. And I will find you, I promise. Pinky promise, my love. Take care of each other. Take care of your loved ones. Be kind. And if you have any information or think you know maybe the slightest thing that could help us bring Michael home, please contact the police department. Thank you. Justice for Michael Joseph Vaughn.
Can't imagine. This has literally almost put her in the grave. This has literally almost put her in the grave. And it breaks my heart for her. It's awful. Yeah. That's a real mother. It is. Unimaginable. Yeah. What happened to her son is neighbors. It's kind of like two neighborhoods, but one neighborhood, if that makes sense, abducted her son while on a hot summer day in Idaho. He got out of the yard while dad was ordering food and changing his daughter's diaper and Michael's little sister's diaper. And he was looking for friends to play. And 3 individuals took him. And God only knows did what with him. And 4 people know, at least. They buried him in their backyard. And then they removed him and put him somewhere else. And we don't know where he's at. He's not coming back the way he left, the way he was taken. Pieces of garbage. 2 of the 4 are locked up on different charges, but they're all 4 will be locked up, in my opinion. Neighboring subdivision, yeah. That's probably a good way of saying it. All right, guys, I got to go to bed. I really do. I got to be up in 5 hours. I don't know, Jen. I don't know. It's crazy. All right, guys. Good night, everyone.